Bonjour mes amis et bienvenue au Pendu dans le Cercle de Lune. Hello friends, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you know from my attempt at a French introduction that this is my series in which I use Terre de Marseille adjacent or antique Italian decks to help me explore a topic or to expand on a topic or to find a more concise message from a video that I do earlier in the week. And I used to say from my larger spread, but these days I've been doing a smaller spread for my video, the first video of the week. Yeah, my deep dive into the thought deck has asked of me to pare down to a simple 3-card spread. And so in the past, when I've done these huge spreads with the Smith-Waite system, for example, or even with the Continental Tarot, I used Terre de Marseille to help extract a more concise message from that. But now the previous video is really tight, so this video will either add another layer of idea or thought to that, or it will give us another take on the same message. And actually, in a sense, this week's spread is larger by 1 card than the 3-card spread I did with the Thoth deck with the 2 oracle cards, because this time I got 3 oracle cards. Now, before we get into this week's spread, let me just remind you that for the way that this channel works, it's really best if you can watch the first video before watching this one. Now, the video for this week was called The Power to Create. And if you haven't already seen that, I'll put a card up here for you to click on and hop on over and take a look at that video first and then come back to this one. And you don't have to watch any of these videos all in one sitting. You can break it up into bits and pieces. Watch 10 minutes here, watch 5 minutes here, watch another 20 minutes later. So I recommend doing that. Watch that one first so you get the foundation of where this spread is coming from. Because this spread could be read in many different ways depending on the question or the basis that we're looking at the cards from. So these cards are responding to a different spread. So seeing that spread is of great benefit. And just in case you have seen that spread and you want a quick refresher, again, it was called The Power to Create. And that Power to Create showed up with the first card being the Magus card. Yeah, and the rest of the cards were pointing towards our potential to create things that we don't want to experience. Our power to create can be a boon or a detriment. It can be a boon because if we recognize it, we can create the lives that we want to live. It can be a detriment because our minds are not as focused, are not as dependable, are not as trained as we think, hope, or want them to be. Do you meditate? If you ever meditate, if you have ever meditated, or if you meditate now, you know the mind is a terrible place to live. The mind is not, you sit down, or you stand or you walk. There are many different kinds of meditation, but you begin your meditation, you allow the mind to empty, and does it stay that way? No, it does not, really. It really doesn't, not for any long period, any periods of time, and sometimes it depends on the individual. For some of us, we can clear our minds at the beginning, or we don't clear our minds. Our minds can open and be calm and quiet at the beginning, and then after a few minutes, the bubbles start rising from the deep. For others, the mind begins chatterboxing at the beginning, and then it quiets down and quiets down and quiets down, and then they arrive at some kind of quietude for a bit, and then the mind starts getting active again, and then we return to quietude after that. So it depends on the individual, but one way or the other, the mind is not Single purpose. The mind will go off in several different directions. And all those directions create. So we went into we went into a discussion of that in the previous video. This video is not going to go in that direction, but I think it's related in a very significant way. And you'll see why in a little bit. What am I going to do? I am going to show you the spread that we got and the question that I ask, which is, what is the central message of this week's 3-card spread? I'll show you all of that, then we'll look at the spread as one large piece, and then we'll break it apart and read it together. Are you all ready? Here we go. Here's the spread. Friends, what do you think of those decks? Now, maybe you've already seen, well, maybe you have one or both of them, but maybe you've already seen one of them on this channel before. I have used it before. For me, it's Tarot de Marseille. For a purist, they would say it's Tarot de Marseille adjacent, perhaps, or even deny that it is Tarot de Marseille. But for me, it's a Tarot de Marseille deck. And it has a little bit of the Tarot Noir, Tarot de Nuit feel to it because of the shape of the oval. Anyways, the Cercle de Lune is a beautiful deck, and maybe I should pull it out sometime soon again. Wonderful deck, all in chocolate browns. Light brown, dark brown, beautiful deck. Gilded, humongous cards. But I've got big hands, so I can shuffle it okay. Beautiful deck. Very fine. For such large cards, the line work is very fine. Very interesting deck. Now, the line work on this deck is not fine by any means, but there's a lot of orangish brown here too, right? Maybe that's part of it. The oval in the cards you saw, that's part of it as well. This is called the Tarot de Gulliver. The Tarot of Gulliver is the English pronunciation of it. And it's a wonderful deck. And it's available from France if you want it. I've actually got an extra deck if you want it. I might be able to either trade with you or work something out. Let me know in the comments below. So, the Tarot de Gulliver is a cool deck. It's got a great book. Its book is in French, but have you ever have you ever used, or do you know that Chrome on your phone has a photo translate function? So you open up your camera, point it at the text, and you can translate with it through Chrome. So on the Chrome bar, there will be a little camera. You press that camera on the Chrome bar, and you point it at the text in the book, and it will translate it for you from French into whatever language you want. So, guidebook in French is not a problem. Then you can also save that translation, and you can record the entire book translated into whatever language you want on your phone. So much potential nowadays. And the translation's not so bad into English, frankly. It's not horrible. It's not perfect, but it's not horrible. It's very readable. Anyway, so there's that deck, which I highly recommend. And beneath is a brand new oracle for me and for this channel. And I forget the name of the oracle. It'll be in the description box below. The reason I chose that oracle deck and not one of the ones from Patrick Valenza or the Oracle Berlin, which goes wonderfully with more standard-looking woodblock print Tarot de Marseille decks, the Tarot Berlin, Oracle Berlin. This oracle card, the flow of the line work reminded me of the flow of the line work in the Tarot of Gulliver, especially around the faces, the curviness, waviness, the flow of the lines in both of these decks was very reminiscent of each other for me. So I decided to pull that one out. And I think to good effect. We'll see. So friends, I've got the spread. Well, you saw the spread. What are we going to do? Let's look at the 3 tarot cards first, and then we'll look at the oracle cards later. Are you all ready? Here we go. Here are the 3 tarot cards right now. The 3 cards you saw from left to right were the 7 of Cups, the 6 of Swords, and then the Knight of Cups. 2 cups and an air card, the swords, right? Which is interesting. The Thoth Tarot that we did this week had air, earth, and air and earth. This time we've got water and air and water. So we've got air and receptive suit of water here. In the previous we had air and the receptive suit of earth. Okay, so is that meaningful? Perhaps. So it means to me that we're getting a different take on the same ideas, the same concepts. Where we had our thoughts and our creation, here we have our emotion and our thoughts. But our emotions are creative. Do you know that? Let's start off with the 7 of Cups here. The 7 of Cups, beautiful card in this deck. We got the 7 cups there in the traditional order of Terre de Marseille. We got the floral or the vegetative decoration here. And the 7 of Cups is creating joy, compassion, and empathy. It's the making of that. It's the bringing of our emotion out into the community. It could be humanitarian activities as well. The taking care of other people. Or other creatures as well, right? Humanitarianism isn't only human to human, it could be human to creature, a beast, to animal, to bird, to insect even. Probably human to human. There's also an individuality here. See, the 1 cup there there are 2 groups of 3, and then there's the single cup there in the center. So there's an individuality here. The single person finding his, her, their place in the group. But it's also love and action in the world. Again, like humanitarianism, it's the bringing of our love and emotion out into our community. It's generosity, giving without advertising it too. Because sometimes we give in order to get attention. Have you ever done that? Have you ever recognized that have you ever recognized it when it's failed? For example, you've gone out and you've done something nice for somebody and you got no benefit from it. And then that's when you realize that, oh wait, why was I being generous? Was I being generous to be generous, or was I being generous because I wanted the attention? And I'm now disappointed that I didn't get the attention that I wanted. So this card is giving without advertising it, without seeking the attention. Being connected to universal love without rejecting daily life. Yeah, some of us expect that we connect to universal love and we transcend the mundane and we become that's not what we're looking at here. We're connected to the universal love which is always available to us and it's always flowing through us to whatever extent we're allowing it. We cannot disconnect from it. But here, we allow it to flow as we are moving about in our day-to-day lives. Now, this deck in particular points to the idea that only with the strength of our hearts can we rise to the height of our dreams. Which is interesting because that echoes to me the Magus card in this week's Thoth Tarot. Our ability to create. And our ability to create our dreams, here it's through our hearts, the strength of our hearts. We're asked not to be afraid of losing everything. The empty cup has watered the whole world. If we pour out our cup, that love, that if we share it with generosity, we can either be afraid that we're going to empty ourselves out and then be left bereft, or we can empty ourselves out knowing that we have fed the entire garden. And if we feed the entire garden, we are fed ourselves, right? Without needing other people to feed us. We are naturally fed ourselves. Does that make sense? So here, we find our place in our community. We put our love in action. Our strength of heart here is what allows us to do the creation that we want. As we can also pour ourselves out to those around us and nurture the garden without asking the garden to turn around and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I just realized that I forgot I'd wanted to read in the opposite direction. So this is the direction we're going in. Let's start, where do we start with? Now, why? Why, Mr. Thomas? Why, Derek? Why, Mr. Dumbbutt? Where did that come from? I don't know. Why are we switching direction? Well, because I read in line of sight. I read Terre de Marseille in line of sight. And the cards as they were drawn, I drew them from right to left, from the Seven of Cups to the Six of Cups to the Knight of Cups. But you notice the only human figure here is looking in this direction, is looking from his, her, or their place on their horse through the Six of Swords to the Seven of Cups. So this is where we're moving. This is the direction we're moving toward. We're moving through what? We're moving through, well, first, who are we? We are the knight, we are the world, we are the Knight of Cups, which is a beautiful card here. And do you see how do you see how the line work on this face kind of echoes the line work in these cards? Can you kind of see that? I hope you can, because that's what I saw, and that's the reason why I chose that Oracle deck. But the Knight of Cups, beautiful card, holding the cup there with the heart above the cup, which is an interesting addition. The Knight of Cups, following the heart. Could be romanticism, could be an idealist. Could be offering the heart to others, courting other people. That's the kind of energy we're inhabiting right now. We want to be open, sincere, and simple-hearted. Not simple-hearted in the sense of being an idiot or stupid, but being simple, pure. Allowing our love to move into action, which again, we're going to be moving into with this card here, right? Missionary work, humanitarian undertaking. That's the kind of being we want to be, yeah? And in order to become that, we may want to ask for forgiveness and make things right. With whom? Could be with other people. Could also be with our own selves. We may want to forgive ourselves for the times we've thought we've failed, for the thoughts we are thinking now that are perhaps standing in our own way. Perhaps. And then allow ourselves to forgive ourselves and make things right with ourselves. Do a little bit of that self-care. That's also possible here. And also with other people. The guidebook for this particular deck says to choose the heart in all things because it guides us and saves us. Our hearts will guide and save us. So follow. And where do we follow to? Well, right now, what the knight has on his, her, or their minds, and remember, it has no difference what kind of body we're inhabiting. Whether we're inhabiting a cis male body, a cis female body, a trans male, trans female, an intersex body, we all are kings, we are all queens, we are all knights, we are all pages, we're all of that. So, whether we identify as straight, gay, bi, asexual, whatever, queer, we're all of that. We're all Knights of Cups. So we are all moving in what direction? We're moving in the direction of the Six of Swords, which is a wonderful card. Sixes are wonderful. Sixes are the heart. The sixes are beauty. So here the beauty of mind, right? Which is intellectual appreciation. We appreciate our own thoughts and we appreciate the thoughts we are thinking about things, and the things we think about have the potential to inspire appreciation. It's reflection upon self, contemplation of self and of object. It's also curiosity, and curiosity was a really strong element of this week's previous spread. The pleasure of thinking, beauty of ideas, playful mind. Now, not the playful mind of the Five of Swords, which is breaking out and breaking free and breaking through. This is the pleasure and the playfulness of beauty, rather than of radical change, right? Loving what we say or think, perhaps. Mind becoming positive and knowing finesse. That was the advice for this week, to get around the self-sabotaging thoughts. Enjoy the thoughts that we have. And as we enjoy the thoughts, if we feel that enjoyment, more positive, more enjoyable thoughts will come. Mind in solitude, assuming its individuality. Another thing that we were advised to do for this week from the previous spread. We could also meet a person providing enriching dialogue, and that was also indicated, yeah. And we want to be careful though. Enriching dialogue, enriching in a positive way, yes, follow that. Enriching in the let's tear things down, let's complain about things and energize ourselves with our mutual complaints. Let's not follow that, because that's going to bring us, no matter how exciting it is in the moment, it's going to bring us in a direction we don't want to go. Now we're ramping up the speed in the direction that we don't want to go. So we don't want to do that. But if the meeting with a person and the dialogue enriches our love and our appreciation and our joy and our flexible ideas, and this is possible and that is possible, and oh, what about this, and oh, have you ever, oh, what a, yeah, those kinds of things, those conversations, yes, definitely yes. And the guidebook for this deck says, a clean break with old beliefs and let new ideas blossom. Again, strongly indicated in this week's in the previous video for this week. We want to observe the future with curiosity and kindness, with beauty and appreciation and expectation of more beauty. Yeah? And with that mindset, we can definitely move in the direction of this. Yeah, creating joy, compassion. Those elements of the Knight of Swords, moving in this direction, through those wonderful, beautiful, creative, curious thoughts, can amplify and intensify and strengthen all of those wonderful compassion, empathy, humanitarianism, individuality, love in action in the world, generosity, giving without asking for return, and our hearts being that which create our dreams. Right? That makes sense, doesn't it? I think it does. And I think it adds the emotional layer to this week's reading through the Thoth. Beautifully. It directs where the Thoth Tarot was saying, slow down, be careful. This isn't saying hurry up by any means, but this is saying, do it with the heart, right? Right. Now, we've got 3 interesting oracle cards to read with these 3 cards here, and I'm still trying to figure out how I want to do this. So, Friends, first I'll show you the cards, and then let's look at them together. Let's see how we want to do this. Here they are. So what do you think of this deck? Do you think it's a well, let's see if it's going to be a useful deck. You saw from left to right, because we are English speakers and English speakers read from left to right, we had the card for freedom, we had the card for surrender, and then we had the card for play. However, the way that these are laid out, and because they were laid out under the tarot cards that they were laid out under, I think we're going to read these also from right to left. And that makes sense to me, because underneath the Knight of Cups card, which was this card, we had this card for play. And here, whoa, no, I'm sorry, that's freedom. Just a second. Okay, we had this card for play, which is interesting, I think. Yeah? Can you feel the echoing energy between these two cards? Here we have, in the play card, we have this mountain, right? And at the top of the mountain, there's this huge flower. And we see these people going down slides, one going, having gone through the flower, the other going next to the flower, down the mountain, and having a lot of fun, and playing, moving through the world. The flower of joy. There's also a clover here. Where's, oh yeah, the clover. That looks like a clover to me. It could be another flower, but it looks like a clover here. The clover of luck, perhaps, of fortune. That play moves us through fortune, from the joy of enjoyment, through the luck of, the luck not being like chance, but luck being fortune. And this paired up with the Knight of Cups seems really powerful. Excuse me. Because there's the potential for the Knight of Cups to become very earnest. Have you ever seen, well, I'm sure you've seen or you've read of or you've heard of romantics who are very earnest romantics, who are very serious about the love that they feel and the passion that they feel. This is asking for the knight to become playful, as the knight is investing love into action, in the missionary work, in the humanitarian undertaking, in choosing the heart, doing so playfully, with joy, is the advice, right? Because that joy, doing it playfully, will move us easily through the world and through the spread. And the next card being surrender, is interesting. Now, we play, and do you see how this play card, these are kind of a little bit rose petal finish and they grip a little bit still. How this play card, the slide here echoes the way this water is moving like a slide. Yeah? Surrender, flowing through conditions. Relaxing into the water and flowing through conditions, which was paired up very beautifully with the Six of Swords. So we can, as we move into the beauty of our mind, into the beauty of thoughts, the beautiful thoughts, the loving thoughts, the pleasurable thoughts, with our own individuality, we can relax into them. As we've played through our love, we can relax and surrender to the beauty of our thoughts. Flowing freely, cleanly from the old into the new ideas, which can blossom playfully, like the blossoming card, the flower here. We can flow with ease into the future, with curiosity and kindness. Relaxed and open to the powerful flow of intention, because if we surrender to our own power, we will move in the direction of what we want. Right? Which moves us into the freedom card. Yeah, freedom. We've surrendered. We've played and we've slid down the slide, and that slide has turned into a flow of water of surrender into the direction that we want to be going in a very pleasurable way, in a beautiful way. And that flows us into freedom. And the freedom card pairs up beautifully with the Seven of Cups, right? And here we are here resting naked on a dove, the dove of peace and of love and of purity, with the Seven of Cups of love and purity and creating joy and compassion. And that will uplift us and give us the freedom to create the lives that we want to live. We rise. Remember, in the Seven of Cups, we said that only with the strength of our heart will we rise to the height of our dreams. And here we are with freedom, rising to the height of our dreams, lifted up on the dove of love and peace and purity. So another way to look at the 3 tarot cards that we got from the Tarot of Gulliver is through the lens of these 3 oracle cards, which is playfully moving through the world with joy and fortune and surrendering to what is and flowing through the conditions that are with interest and curiosity, but with surrendering to them without resisting them, right? Surrendering to them so that we can flow onto this dove of freedom and rise up to create with love, peace, and purity the lives that we want to live, to the heights of our dreams. And that might be the title of this video, The Heights of Our Dreams. That has a good ring to it, doesn't it? Don't you think so? If you think so, let me know in the comments below. If you don't think so, let me know in the comments below. Also, what do you think? Does this reading make sense in relationship to the Thoth reading that we did just previously this week? Do you see the layers that are of the same response to the question of how we can live more intentionally in this coming week while we're still in Mercury retrograde? That makes sense? If it does, let me know in the comments below. Also, if it does not, let me know in the comments below. I'd really love to hear from you. So friends, thank you. Why thank you? Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. It helps other people when you do that. It brings this channel out into the world and out in front of the eyes of other people who might be interested in this content. So all of those things, those interactions, the comments, the thumbs up, the subscriptions that you have done, that you have subscribed, that tells YouTube to show the channel to other people. So thank you for doing that, for helping them. And now, if you want a reading from me, let me know either in the comments below or shoot me an email. My email address is in the description box below. thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. We will get you a reading. By Zoom, just by video, by photo and recorded message, or by photo and written message, your choice. Terre de Marseille, Rider Smith-Waite, Harris Crowley, whatever, your choice. So friends, thank you. And now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.